Hiya Paul, thanks for the footage. Just a quick note in regards to the action that you're currently making. Leg action's improved dramatically since the last time I saw you. The foot flow's looking better, and we just need to take a little look at why we're getting so stuck. Now, presumably this is at S&A, the little par 3 just after the par 5. First thing I notice here is that we're aligning quite a long way to the right. I mean, the club there now is pointing well right of the green, so unless we've got a 50-mile-an-hour wind off the right hand side, that's too much to the right, so we need to maybe look at your alignment a little bit. From that position, the takeaway tends to be pretty good move away. If I'm being ultra picky, I'd like to see you keep that right arm a little bit straighter early in your golf swing. So first move away, think in terms of keeping the arm straight, a little bit more like we see here. That's just going to help you police the path of the club a little bit. So a little bit too much folding too early for my liking. Having said that, as we get into the top of the backswing, we're in a pretty good position here, and then there's just a lift. So we're turning, arms are staying on the rib cage, and then as we get to here, that lifting of the arms to complete the backswing just gets that shaft too much across the line. And then from there now, the swing line has been shifted to the right. You're going to come down into impact. And the club at that point is just a little bit too much behind the hands. And from there we try and rescue it, but unfortunately you can see how far right that ball's starting. And we've got to exit high and rotate over. Now if we just go back and have a look at the way the legs are working, because this is something that we've worked on in the previous weeks. Right knee returns to flex, never gets out in front of that, straightening to impact. That's a massively improved leg action based on this time. You know, a few months ago that leg action was nowhere near as good as it is now. So that's coming on. What we're seeing with yourself is very similar to what we see with Rory McIlroy. You can see here now, from the top of the backswing, he's going to get the club a little bit, and quite a lot in this case, underneath his hands at that point. Too much from the inside. From there, he's got to rescue it with his hands at the last minute. Very much hitting out at the golf ball. So in other words, that would be, if you will, a stuck position. Now obviously, when his timing's on, Rory McIlroy's as good as anybody, as he proved in early June. However, you can see that position there for a less talented player, or a player who's not quite timing it very well, is a disaster waiting to happen, because that can go so far right it's untrue. Certainly not going to hit a cut from there. What we'd like to see is a little bit more like we see here with Grant Waite. Keep the right arm straighter. Feel that the shaft's going to be a little bit laid off, if anything, at the top would be good for you. And then as we're coming into impact, try and get the shaft a little bit more in line with the hands, as opposed to behind the hands. So again, if we just rewind yours back, not quite on line at the top, so we want to feel like laid off, and then we want to feel like we're going to get the club a little bit more out in front of the hands as we're coming into the delivery position. So we'd like to see that shaft a little bit more in line. One way you can develop that is to try and just hit some cuts from a neutral setup. Don't open your stance. Square stance, ball forward, try and hit some cuts. That's going to get you exiting much lower, and in order to exit lower, you're going to be encouraged to get the club in a little bit more of a laid off position at the top, without you really thinking about it too much. I sent you the link over the other night of Dave Wilding's lesson, and you can see the stark contrast between before and after in his golf swing. Basically all he was doing from there was trying to hit, he'd had 10-15 minutes of trying to just hit a cut, a pull cut, one that starts left and cuts back from a neutral setup. Good luck with it, keep me informed. Great luck at the English Amateur, get stuck in and let's have something won. Speak to you soon.